Well, it's time once again when we go out to the left coast and visit with Michael Snyder and his little Culture Blast report telling us what's good and what isn't. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Alex, and hi, everybody else. And yeah, it is that time when we kind of compile what we know about the new movies and maybe chat about a few other things if we have the time. So let's get rolling. Bad Moms is a comedy about three overworked and underappreciated mothers who are pushed beyond their limits, and of course, as a result, they go wild. It's a surprisingly effective female-centric stab at the occasionally vulgar, no-holds-barred comedy that we've seen with guys as the central figures, such as The Hangover. I guess it's more in that regard like Bridesmaids. It's basically a dirty chick flick. That's basically what it is. Anyway, solid cast here. Mila Kunis is Amy, who tries to be a working mother and have it all, but having it all includes an unreliable slacker husband, played by David Walton, who I think starred on TV's About a Boy, and two sullen kids. One's a clueless son, the other a demanding, overachieving daughter. She feeds the kids, drives them to school, and then goes off to her job at a Starbucksy coffee company run by a smug, do-nothing bunch of millennials. Catherine Hahn is the bad mom template, a single mother who drinks in the morning, parties all night, and lures the Amy character into the joys of personal gratification. Responsibilities be damned, be forgotten, be dismissed. Anyway, Kristen Bell is their timid peer, dominated by her ingrate husband, and the three of them go off to try to kind of self-actualize, I guess, while Christina Applegate and Jada Pinkett Smith are the mean mom enemies. Applegate's in full villainous mode as the tyrannical head of the PTA. It was mostly fun and funny, even if the ending was sort of pat. And surprise, directed and written by the team of John Lucas and Scott Moore, who co-wrote all three Hangover movies. This is better than the Hangovers 2 and 3, which maybe isn't saying much, but I kind of thought it was enjoyable. Certainly something to watch on video at some point. Now, for a grave disappointment, looky here. Matt Damon is born again, so to speak. Jason Bourne is the fourth movie to star Matt Damon as the secret agent with amnesia, the man without a past, the man who has to uncover the mysteries of his life, and spawned by the Robert Ludlum espionage novels, which are twisty and turny and kind of exciting and engaging. This fourth film, just called Jason Bourne, comes on the heels of The Bourne Legacy, which was, I guess, the actual fourth film in the series, but didn't feature Damon. It featured Jeremy Renner as some kind of half-assed cut-rate version of the Bournish hero caught up in Bournish antics. I don't know. I liked the first three pretty well. I thought that Damon did a good job. I liked the stories, largely, I guess, adapted from the Ludlum novels. This comes as a basic kind of spy movie thriller action thing with action piece after action piece with very little character development. On the upside, Tommy Lee Jones is the head of the CIA. They're still trying to find Bourne, who's on the run and is still looking for more clues to his past and his identity. This formerly mind-wiped secret agent, this killer, and who else is opposing him? Well, Vincent Cassel as the villain. Alicia Vikander is kind of a good twist on the CIA analyst who's also trying to help the boss. And a lot of stuff happens in this movie where I was just rolling my eyes. They bring back Julia Stiles from the earlier films. There's a lot of exotic locations. There's a lot of action, but it just seemed pretty limp and pretty weak. Had it been anywhere near as good as the first two of them, I would have been happy. But it's actually probably less engaging than The Bourne Legacy, the one with Jeremy Renner. Hey, maybe they should shoot one of these movies in Borneo. Anyway, yeah, let's move along. Nerve was a little more exciting and fun, believe it or not. It's a digital-age, teen-oriented thriller wherein V, a nice but nerdy high school senior played by Emma Roberts, joins a popular online game that takes a sinister turn that may very well put her into serious peril. There's this game, you see, Nerve, that all the kids in the New York City area are digging. There are players who are asked to do increasingly radical acts and even dangerous stunts for larger and larger amounts of money transferred into their bank accounts. And there are watchers who sign up and pay a fee to watch the competition and provoke the players. Dave Franco is the mystery guy who teams up with V and is both potential love interest and nerve rival. And Juliette Lewis is V's fretful mother. That's right, Juliette Lewis is now playing moms. Anyway, this movie, with a comparatively low budget, was more exciting and frenzied than quite a few more highly touted action movies. I actually found it more exciting than the Bourne film, which kind of numbed me after a while. There's the old ticking clock ratcheting up the tension as the increasingly treacherous dares that the watchers put upon the players begin putting V and the Dave Franco character into danger. And the premise, that kind of weird miasma of fame, hunger, greed, and easy money, the vicarious thrills that make reality TV popular, and the tech that makes something like the nerve game possible, all that works. And there are kind of whimsical and fuzzy aspects of the game that are plot holes too big to ignore. Things do get increasingly preposterous, especially in a totally over-the-top climax. But it kind of zips along in such a lively, engaging fashion, you're almost willing to forgive its trespasses. And I think the target audience probably won't care. Tallulah is a romantic, well, I wouldn't call it romantic, it's a dramedy about a dissatisfied Beverly Hills-type trophy wife who hires a stranger to babysit her toddler and essentially gets more than she bargained for. The buxom and heedless mom, played by Tammy Blanchard, is on a hotel getaway in Manhattan, hiding out from her rich and detached husband when she meets a transient girl, played by Ellen Page, the Tallulah character, who is sneaking around the hotel hallway and snatching food off of abandoned food service trays. Pretty hilarious stuff in that regard. Anyway, Allison Janney plays the mother of Tallulah's estranged boyfriend, with whom she has been on the run for 2 years. You also get Uzo Aduba in a small role, Zachary Quinto, solid cast. And the thing only works because the relationship between the Ellen Page character and the Allison Janney character, as a woman sort of forced into being a confidant and supporter and protector of Tallulah, that's the only thing that really makes this thing rock. In fact, the actors totally carry the film. There are moments that I kind of questioned, but I was, again, brought along by terrific performances. I think that the movie is going to be fun to watch on video and gratifying, and I believe it's available in streaming. So there you go with Tallulah. Equals is kind of Brave New World meets Logan's Run with a dash of Romeo and Juliet. As a couple of citizens of a kind of dystopian, chilly future where no one's allowed to touch anybody and people are striving for the stars while actually living in cubicles. These two people kind of find one another, and their love is going to overturn the social order. And if you have feelings, by the way, in this future, you're considered sick. And the more feelings you have, the sicker you are, and eventually you're kind of carted away. So it's kind of traditional sci-fi hysteria on a lot of levels. But Kristen Stewart and Nicholas Hoult do a pretty decent job of kind of embodying these characters. And you have Guy Pearce and Jackie Weaver in supporting roles. Ultimately, though, it's so derivative that even though it kind of looks good and people give their all, it just didn't work in any way, shape, or form, as well as the classics of this genre. Directed by Drake Doremus, I was a little disappointed in this one. I wished for something better. Just quickly wrapping up, Gleason is a documentary about a former New Orleans Saints defensive back, Steve Gleason, a real guy, who in his early 30s, while still, a fairly respected athlete, was diagnosed with ALS. They told him he had only a few years to live, and his wife was on the verge of having their first kid. And basically, this is a very sad and difficult to watch movie about his deterioration, but his spiritual growth and his attempt to help other people with ALS get on and deal with the problems, the challenges, and the ultimate fate of those with the disease. Watching this guy deteriorate is tough. It's tough. It's a powerful film. Gleason is, kind of affirming on some levels, but whoa, it was hard to sit through. That's all I can tell you in that regard. Quick note on DVD and VOD: Batman: The Killing Joke, an animated version of one of the greatest graphic novels in comic history, in terms of its beauty, power, and its boldness. Batman: The Killing Joke, wherein the Joker actually shoots Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, and cripples her. And I know again, this is kind of a downbeat subject. And the original graphic novel, so beautifully illustrated by Brian Bolin. There's no way the animation can match the artistry.
Brian Bolin has had his name taken off of this because he doesn't like it.
Actually, no, that was Alan Moore, the guy who wrote it. I don't know if they took. No, I don't believe they.
There's no credit. There's no credit supposedly on the credits
for Alan Moore or Brian Bolin.
Yes.
Well, they added a bunch of stuff to it, and I was very much disappointed. There's no way you can approximate Bolin's beautiful artwork in an animated film like this unless you spent millions upon millions more than they were willing to spend. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So what do you got? What have you been watching? Anything at all?
The only thing that's really a must-see is The Hunt.
The Hunt?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Richard Attenborough. It's his latest documentary on animals, and it's about animals killing for food, and it is just some of the most spectacular nature life photography you will ever see anywhere. It's maybe the best documentary on animals that I've ever seen. It's amazing. It's on BBC America.
Wow, The Hunt. All right, be on the lookout for that. Sounds good to me. That's it, I guess. You can check me out on Twitter at Culture Blaster. Follow me there, and also go to Michael Snyder's Culture Blast page on Facebook, where you'll find me and Alex and articles and various and sundry others, and we'll hopefully be back next week.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. Have a nice week, and we shall see you then. I'm Alex Bennett. That's all we got for now. Stay tuned for more GABNet coming right up.